This video is the result of a random idea that I shared with my family a few years ago. Wouldn't it be great to visit the hospital that Dad established in the mid-1950s in the highlands of Papua New Guinea? Our late father, Dr. Eric Hoopman, seen here in his early 30s, had left us with information on the Emmanuel Lutheran District Hospital that he set up with Jerry Noack, his cousin and builder, in the village of Mambasanda in Papua New Guinea between April 1954 and August 1956. We had some photos that he had taken, his brief written account of his work there, and recollections from our mother, Lottie, who first met Eric in PNG. But we had no idea where Mambasanda was, or if the hospital still existed, and there was little useful information on Google or elsewhere. At the time, Mambasanda didn't even come up on Google Maps, but with an old artist's map and a grainy 1950s aerial photo from Lottie showing the distinctive fishbone architecture of the hospital, I used Google Maps to zoom in on every village and town in the area indicated on the artist's map until I spotted the unique shape of the building, a bit like Saru searching for his home in India in the 2016 movie Lion. So, determined to make my random idea a reality and combining it with my love of adventure motorcycle riding, come and join my quest to get to Mambasanda Hospital to find my father's legacy. My journey begins in Lae, where I'm taken to the home of Peter Boyd, the owner of New Guinea Dirt Motorcycle Tours. Peter's home is organised chaos with bikes, bike parts and merchandise everywhere, a growing family of dogs, and it's a constant hive of activity. Here we are at New Guinea Dirt, and the home of Peter. Plenty of motorbikes. Good security. Very dangerous in way. You say hello to the camera? With boundless enthusiasm and energy and an incredible network of connections throughout PNG, Peter is the perfect organiser of this trip. Here's the man himself, Peter. Say hello to the camera, Peter.
Morning, Phil. How are you?
Good, mate.
Welcome to Papua New Guinea.
Thanks, mate. We're on a go.
We'll see you in 9 days and see how you're feeling.
At Peter's place, I also meet Willie, my tour guide from a village near Lae, and Ian, another of Peter's crew.
A KTM needing modifications. What a surprise.
Hey, Ian.
All right, bud.
Well done. The tour itinerary first takes us to the 1930s gold rush town of Bulolo, about 120 kilometres southwest of Lae. From there, we will ride west to the village of Angapenga to see the smoke bodies of Aseki before returning to Bulolo and Lae. The Highlands part of the trip takes us through the Markham Valley, along the Highlands Highway and up the Kassam Pass to Kainantu. In Kainantu, we'll visit a coffee plantation and warehouse, then see the famous Azuro mudmen, before riding over the Daulo Pass to Kundiawa. The next section of the trip is a change from Peter's normal tour itinerary, designed to get me to Mambasanda, and I'm enormously grateful to Peter for making this possible. We ride to the town of Minge and then take the ute into Anga Province to visit Mambasanda Hospital before returning to spend the night in Bans. From Bans, we travel back through Kundiawa and turn north up the Chimbu Valley to Betty's Lodge and then to Snow Pass to stay the night. On our last day, we continue over the range and head to our final destination of Madang along the Ramu Highway. Be aware though that PNG promotes itself as the land of the unexpected, and true to form, our itinerary is subjected to change. So the next morning, Willie and I leave Lae and head along the Lae-Bulolo road to Bulolo, stopping for a bite to eat along the way and meeting some of the locals. Say hello. Hey, wave, guys. Hello. The Malay-Bololo Road varies from reasonably intact to totally destroyed, which is how we find most roads in PNG, but the scenery more than makes up for it. Our accommodation in Bololo is at the picturesque Bololo Country Club. In the morning, we leave the country club, refuel the bikes and head west on an 8-hour return ride to the village of Angapenga.
Hey. Rain over there.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Happy New Year, Libra. No good.
Angapenga is in the Aseki district and home to the Anga people, who practice an ancient ritual of smoking the bodies of their dead and arranging them on a bamboo scaffold as means of connecting with the spirit world. It's believed that the practice ceased around 1949 due to the influence of missionaries. My guides for the steep half-hour hike through the jungle are Aros and Wayne Katu.
Come. Through the tunnel.
Yeah. Yep.
Wayne tells me about the ritual and of his village's effort to preserve and promote the remote site as a tourist destination.
Chief for this.
Chief.
Chief, this man with the,
In the red.
yeah, the red colored
Is
soil.
that soil?
Red colored soil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he care for all this, provide the food, shelter,
Yeah.
fight for the enemy. This is the great warrior.
Okay. He's a big man.
For this village here.
Yeah.
The sight of the bodies is not as disturbing as I expected. It reflects a belief of the Anga people in the importance of preserving their dead that is no different to mummification by other cultures. It's just that these guys enjoy a really nice view.
Like come to see.
Yeah.
People will chase them. They have to get permission from us.
Yeah.
So I heard the sound of the motorbike, and when I left my house,
Yeah.
oh, I saw that both of you just parked at the side of our coffee garden.
Such beautiful country.
This is our village, little village.
Yeah.
This is other community. For ourselves from this.
Everyone smile. You guys.
As we leave Aros and Wayne and return to Bulolo, the sky turns ominous, and soon we're riding through a classic PNG deluge. We get a brief chance to warm our frozen hands when we stop in a village to refuel after crossing paths with a ute carrying our supply of petrol that was pre-arranged in Bulolo. The rain clears soon after and everything is going well, until this.
All right.
The villagers helped me to a grassy area to recover, and it's clear that I'll be riding the next 2 hours to Bulolo with a seriously damaged lower left leg and knee.
I just throttled. I think my glove got stuck or something,
Oh,
and I just kept it throttled and I couldn't back it off.
shit.
So yeah, it was just out of control.
I was thinking, I felt it too.
Hmm?
My hand went numb,
Mm.
and then I found it hard to release.
Yeah,
So quickly I grabbed the clutch.
yeah. I think.
I'm like a wabek.
How gorgeous is this little guy offering me his mattress and pillow to lie down on?
Problem been building. Try yampla.
That's all right. Thank you. That's okay. You keep it clean. Thank you very much. I'm all right.
Unable to ride the next day, Ian collects me and we return to Lay in the ute. I went to the hospital in Bulolo to get checked out, but the hospital had no doctors, no x-ray machine, it doesn't dispense medications, and the wheelchair that they put me in collapsed. The best that the nurse on duty could do was ensure that there was no compound fracture, that I could still wiggle my toes, and she applied some iodine to my grazers. My left knee, shin and calf were about 20% bigger than normal, and I was unable to bend my knee, but with some Voltaren that I had with me and 2 days off the bike, I was able to continue the tour. Check out the local inconvenience store in Lay, where Ian stops to get some cheap cigarettes. next day we load the bikes onto the ute and meet Les, a local rider who will join me for the rest of the tour. Les is with the Lay Police Force. He also designs billboards and we see his work along the road throughout the tour. So mid-afternoon, we drive along the Highlands Highway and up the Kassam Pass to Kainantu.
That's the Madang.
This is the Highlands Highway.
That's that.
My leg. In the morning, we ride to a nearby valley to check out a coffee plantation and warehouse. PNG produces some of the best coffee in the world, so the process of selling and distributing the raw product is a bit of an eye-opener.
50 kilo.
50 kilo.
Exactly.
225. SK man.
225 kina is about 90 Australian dollars for 50 kilograms of raw coffee beans. Remember that the next time you pay $40 in the supermarket for a 1 kilogram bag of beans, or give your barista $6.50 for a cafe latte.
Yeah.
Process it. Now, just gonna check it and grade it.
We check the moisture.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a good dry. So it's acceptable to
It's got to be dry.
Yeah.
Must be dry.
Yeah, this one the moisture is about 18 to 20%.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Later, we pass through the city of Goroka, where we pick up Willie's brother Steve, who joins us for the next few days, and then head to the province of Azaro to see the Azaro Mudmen.
Round about the after person. I just go ahead, put the bush up there and sit around. Less.
The Azaro mudmen are thought to have originated over a century ago when the Azaro tribe fled an enemy tribe seeking refuge in the Azaro River. Emerging from the river covered in mud, the enemy mistook them for the spirits of the Azaro tribesmen that they had killed, causing them to flee in fear. Since then, the Azaro mudmen have used the tactic to defeat their enemies and live in peace. I have a quick photo shoot with the mudmen before we depart to our next stop in Kundiawa. In case you're wondering, I'm second from the left. The road to Kundiawa takes us up the Dowlow Pass to a height of 2,485 metres, where we stop to buy some strawberries.
There's a little guy. Hello.
We then ride down the pass to Kundiawa and get mobbed by the locals on arrival. I think having a room in the executive wing means that we get the privilege of a kettle to boil water for a warm bucket bath. Smelling nice and fresh and clean after our bucket baths, we head on to Juwaka Province and the Mulka Lodge in the town of Minge, the home of Peter's friend Gibson. It's here that we leave the bikes and continue the trip to Enga Province and Mambasanda Hospital in the Ute. I get a photo with Gibson and his kids, and then off we go, past tea plantations, through Mount Hagen and into the rugged Western Highlands, with the obligatory roadside stop, this time for bananas and peanuts. Tea pickets?
I mean, I've given this like. No, try peanut.
Peanut?
Yeah.
We reach a junction of the Highlands Highway, with one branch ending at Copiago, the closest point to the now PNG-owned Oktedi mine, and the other branch passing Mambasanda Hospital to end at PNG's Porgera gold mine. Security is tight getting into Enga Province. Neither Willie or Les have been to Enga Province before, and it has recently experienced tribal violence, with 150 killed in August 2023 alone. It is therefore a lot safer for us to travel together in the Ute. Sadly, the violence is widely attributed to a loss of hope and purpose, particularly among younger men. Soon we enter the village of Mambasanda and finally arrive at our destination, Mambasanda Hospital.
Just be in. Up there, right this way. Go straight up, huh? Yeah.
That's it. That's the front that I recognise. The hospital is as it was in 1956, with its fishbone architecture of 6 wards connected by a central covered corridor leading to the administration building on top of a small hill above the hospital grounds. I had previously arranged to meet Sister Agnes Corallo, the hospital administrator. It took several emails to people at various Lutheran entities to find the name and phone number of Sister Agnes as the best person to meet at the hospital. This is Sister Agnes with me and the technical staff in the newly renovated hospital laboratory. Sister Agnes has been with the hospital for 26 years. She has risen through the ranks and is now clearly a driving force behind what is regarded as a quality health facility in the New Guinea highlands. I'm proudly shown a new ambulance donated by Japan, the recently re-stumped ward buildings to prevent water damage, solar panels installed for power, and a new obstetrics ward. I tour the hospital with Sister Agnes for almost an hour. We talk about my father's involvement in establishing the hospital, the challenge of securing joint funding from the PNG government and the Lutheran Church, and the renovation work that is taking place with much of the administration building now complete. The hospital accommodates about 100 patients. Sadly, Sister Agnes tells me that many of the presentations to the hospital are what are locally referred to as chop-chop injuries, or victims of tribal and domestic violence with knives and machetes. I ask about a hydroelectric dam and generator that was built to power the hospital when my father was here. Sister Agnes tells me it still operates, but getting to it is very difficult. I give Sister Agnes a booklet outlining my father's role in establishing the hospital, along with photos that he had taken during his time here in the 1950s. I leave the hospital feeling privileged to have had the opportunity to travel to and witness firsthand my father's legacy. From the hospital, we make our way back to Minge, stopping at a waterfall high above the Western Highlands jungle. We collect the motorcycles from Gibson and have a scenic ride along a ridgeline to our overnight stop at the Jiwaka Mission Resort in Bands, arranged for us by Peter's friend Alan. In the morning, we begin the ride to Snowpass. say that there's a drunk in every town and village, and I think we just found one. As we ride through the towns and markets, it's clear that some unrest is brewing. We soon hear of rioting in Port Moresby and Lae that was triggered by a government error that shortchanged the police force 120 kina each in their pay packets. As a result, many police walked off the job in protest, opening the way for criminals and disaffected youth to riot, loot, damage and burn down numerous businesses, resulting in the death of 22 people. We get through the unrest and stop further down the highway to say hi to Les's sisters. I'm honoured by being given a bilum, a nice memento of PNG.
Giving Bilum to fuel.
We refuel in Kundiawa and get through the city without any issues before leaving the Highlands Highway to travel north to Betty's Lodge and Snow Pass along the spectacular Chimbu Valley. Along the way, we cross paths with Vincent, who runs the Snow Pass Eco Lodge.
Hey, how you doing?
Vincent, yes.
Decent? Cool.
Is that your support vehicle?
Yeah.
As we get further along the valley road, I begin to feel a bit nauseous and wonder if I'm inhaling too much of Les's exhaust fumes. Soon after, we arrive at a large reserve in Jembok and stop for a break, but I promptly throw up in the middle of the reserve and it's clear that I've got food poisoning. After taking in plenty of water, I ride on, hoping that the gastro will soon pass.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey. Hey, thanks.
We take advantage of a smooth track alongside an airstrip before arriving at Betty's Lodge. Betty's Lodge is the gateway for hikers and climbers that want to scale Mount Wilhelm, PNG's highest mountain. We're greeted by Betty and her partner Peter and stay for a short break with fresh barbecued trout on offer from her impressive trout farm.
In Chikwa. Chiwaka.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm in no state to enjoy the trout after again throwing up. I feel totally dehydrated, nauseous and completely sapped of energy. We're at 2,800 metres above sea level, 2 hours from Snow Pass, and the roads will only get worse, so it's obvious that my ride will be over when we get back to Willie and the ute. A visit to Snow Pass will have to wait for another time. The locals help us load the bikes onto the ute and we decide to head to Goroka. Along the way, Les arranges with a well-meaning friend for me to see her friend, who is a nurse at Kundiawa Hospital, to get some gastro medication. For 5 kina, the nurse disappears into the dispensary and returns with some Panadol, Flagyl and chloramphenicol, with instructions on how many to take of each and when. A bit concerned, I searched Google to find that flagyl is used to treat bacterial infections of the vagina, liver, skin and the stomach, and it has side effects including seizures. Chloramphenicol is used mainly to treat eye infections, and its side effects include bone marrow suppression, nausea and diarrhoea. Needless to say, the Panadol is gratefully accepted, but I flush the other medications down the toilet. Along the Highlands Highway between Kundiawa and Goroka, we soon come across several roadblocks created by local bandits, fuelled by the unrest in Port Moresby and Lae. Willie is an expert at negotiating the lowest possible bribe, but we still part with 310 kina, about $120 Australian, to get through all of the roadblocks. They sure know how to make a mess of a highway. The bandits carry machetes and sticks, and as you can see, it's not worth arguing with them. What's going on here? We finally see the lights of Goroka and make our way to our hotel. I don't want to focus on the quality of some of the hotels on our tour because it is what it is, and in my current state all I want to do is sleep, but this little dilemma is worth sharing. Goroka in the morning is locked down due to the riots and the police are not allowing anyone to leave the city. But by early afternoon the police give us the all clear to leave, with strict instructions not to stop until we reach Kainantu. After passing Kainantu, we get a good view of the Yonki Dam before reaching the intersection with the Ramu Highway to Madang. The Ramu Highway runs along a valley between the highlands and the coastal Finisterre Range. It is an agricultural corridor with palm oil trees slowly taking over. The highway is smooth and straight, but this bridge makes it clear that you can never get complacent driving or riding in PNG. Eventually we turn toward the coast to cross the Finisterre Range to Madang, and the mountain road doesn't disappoint.
Yes, you're right.
In Madang, we set out to find a Lutheran Mission Supply Centre, better known as The Store, where my mum Lottie worked between 1954 and 1956. This is The Store as it was then, and this is young Lottie at work, possibly processing an order from the young Dr. Eric in the Highlands for medical supplies and cigarettes, and wondering if he will ever ask her out. Willie and Les find some locals in a market that know Violetta, seen here on the left, whose grandfather, Biak Kawaz, from Kranget Island, worked at the store, probably around the same time as Lottie. I call Lottie to ask her about Biak Kawaz, but she doesn't recall anyone by that name. Violetta tells us that the store no longer exists, but she does take us to where it was located, and it's clear that the store has long ago made way for a shipping container facility. Peter kindly allows me to hang on to the motorcycle to get around Madang until my flight leaves in a couple of days' time. Apart from taking in the foreshore sights, I made it my last job to find the Yagum Hospital, where my father worked from 1951 to 1952, before returning in 1954 to establish Mambasanda Hospital. Yagum Hospital is only 12 kilometres south of Madang and not hard to find, although it is located well off the highway. But it's at this point that I say goodbye to Willie and Les, enormously grateful to them for guiding me around Papua New Guinea and being part of my Odyssey. Finding my father's legacy as part of such an amazing motorcycle adventure would simply not have been possible without them.